What's up, y'all? This is Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, with my co-host B, 3 exclamation points, bringing you the political perspective.
Savvy enough to hear certain things and not automatically be acting.
Elon Musk kind of like snapped on
This is like 3 more seasons of Landman right here.
Yeah, definitely. Where the natural resources are ransacked, and these countries are normally not better after the United States comes over there and just starts trashing their country. And always remember, if you're not political, you do not have a perspective. Now let's talk some politics. What's up, B? How you feeling today?
What's up? I'm good, man. I'm good.
Oh, man, let's get it started, man. Welcome to the political perspective. I am Reggie, aka Speeding Bullet, with my compadre B, 3 exclamation points. And always remember, if you are not political, then you do not have a perspective. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of politics, B. So I would say the most important kind of court decision happened yesterday. And, this involved really the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. So there was a Supreme Court case out of Louisiana, and pretty much this case really talked about how congressional maps were decided after the Civil Rights Act of 1965, and pretty much the court really in its ruling really just got rid of all of the protections that were previously written into the Civil Rights Act to be able to make sure that Black people's votes were not disenfranchised through gerrymandering, which gerrymandering is the ability to create congressional districts based on their voting habits, to be able to either have more districts or to squeeze out Black districts by expanding that the particular geographical area that those kind of like majority of Black people would be in that particular area. So, I mean, the Supreme Court, on really not surprising 6-3 ruling, really changed the rules of voting in America. And most people don't realize what it means. And like I said, the Supreme Court did in the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and that law specifically was to protect Black voting power. And it's done that really for decades. Before this ruling, if a voting map hurt Black voters, you could challenge it in court. But now you have to prove that lawmakers intended to discriminate. Now, how do you prove intent? That's something that will always be impossible, because you can say whatever you can say whatever feels like the right thing to say, but that doesn't. But you cannot look and peer into somebody's heart to know what intent is. So that pretty much means that states can now just redraw maps that look legal, but really kind of like dilutes Black voting power. And this happened years ago after Reconstruction. So after Reconstruction, Black political power rose. You had Black representatives. We all see different social media posts about Black Republicans, way back in the 1870s, 1880s, and just through the courts and through just white supremacy and through fear, they were able to like squeeze Black people out of being able to have any type of political power. And the Voting Rights Act really put a stop to that. So some people, and I'm not one of those people, would say that these types of protections are not needed anymore. That we are 61 years after we're 61 years away from the Civil Rights Act, and things are that we are in a post-racial country, and it's hard for me to understand how people see that, or people can explain away that when you just see so much of the disparities
Yeah.
in communities. But what do you think about that, B? Do you think that we no longer need these protections?
I think that so I think that they're grasping at straws. I think on some level we might not need. Okay, let me be clear. I think that we will at some point need these protections again. I don't think we'll need these protections come November
Mhm,
or November 2028 because he has made he did enough for where he's pissed everybody off.
mhm.
But not to say so in the near future, no. But ultimately, yes, I think we'll need them again.
Got you. I mean, and in a way, I lean towards that. But I am. I mean, I am afraid that we will not have any representation. I mean, black people barely have representation in the South now. Uh,
Yes.
this period, and I can see us having, no representation. And when you think
Yeah.
about just some of the seats that say like uh, former Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, like her
Yeah.
was taken away through redistricting,
That's
and
true.
how much of our black talent will be affected by that. Not just today and seats being squeezed, but not even having the ability to be represented by your community. If you are so I there was a study that said 30% of the population in Mississippi is black, but they have zero representatives.
Yeah.
Like and how is that even possible? Not even in the districts that are over
Yeah. No, overwhelmingly black. Yeah.
they still don't have any what you would call representation. So I fear that. I mean, I think that you're correct that Trump has ruined it so much that he's going to get people so activated that all of these things are not really going to matter, because
Yeah.
I can't with a straight face like see anyone besides like his most his most MAGA supporters
Yeah.
like being able to ride with what he's doing right now. So hopefully that is the case, but it's just a sad day, considering what we had to go through just as a people and then as a country to
Yeah.
be able to sign this legislation, to be able to secure these rights. Um, I hope that we are in a place where we don't need these protections anymore. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm, I'm fearful that we still will. So, um, you know, states are already proposing to redraw maps. I know Florida, shout out to James, has already had their map already ready.
Hmm.
When the decision came up, they already had their map already made. So we'll see what it affects, and we'll kind of have to stay tuned for that. The next kind of biggest story is the attempted assassination, the air quote attempted assassination of President Trump, and his wanting a ballroom as his consolation prize of not getting
Not getting right. That's a great. That's an interesting way to put it. His
yeah,
consolation prize for not getting killed was, "I need this ballroom."
I need this ballroom. So um, I think everyone's seen the video. They've seen the guy that appears to be a track star, try to run through the security perimeter.
Yeah.
Wasn't really close to the actual event. It was way further down the hallway. He would have had to rush through probably 200 armed 200
Yeah.
armed Secret Service, law enforcement, all kinds of people with guns. He was able to get a shot off. Shot one of the secret agents in the chest. Had him bulletproof vest. So fortunately for him, wasn't a lot of damage. He was hospitalized, but nothing life threatening. What was interesting is that this guy made it out alive and
Yes.
and looks pretty unscathed.
Yeah.
Uh, And I don't know if if there's some newfound restraint with with shooting, but you've seen black people, and really people in general, get shot for a whole lot less than what he did.
Yes.
I mean, he let off a round and shot one of their
One of their Secret Service. Yeah.
and no one shot back. I mean, I can only think that it must have happened so quick, and they were just on top of him, and nobody wanted to shoot one of their other folks. Yeah. But ironically, this is the same hotel that Reagan was shot in 81. So kind of ironic. I think like 45 years ago that Reagan was shot. So what do you think about that, B?
So a lot of reaction to this has been, and it's crazy to say, but a lot of it has been, this is staged, this is a hoax. And there's a lot of things, there are things to point to make people believe that the fact that Trump has not attended any White House correspondent dinner in however long, and then this one he decides to attend. There's an assassination attempt, along with the numbers for his approval numbers and how they look, along with the fact that this guy lived. It's a lot of things people are pointing at, and the coordinated, oh, this is why we need the ballroom from that side of the aisle. It all looks fishy, is all I'm saying. And it doesn't quell people from having the belief that it was a stunt, a publicity stunt. So that talk is out there. I am where I stand, I just can't get past that we live in a time where that's a question. Like we really living in a time where it's a question that you could ask and can't immediately dismiss. So who knows, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think that it is a direct result just of the Trump effect, the effect on politics, and really conspiracy theories, and then just the flat out lies. That his administration tell, which is so much different than the normal run of the mill all politicians lie. Trump and his administration, their lies are much worse, because even when faced with the truth, they live on their lie. There was a congressional hearing last week with Robert Kennedy Jr., and he made some statements about black children needing to be reparented, and he immediately said that he didn't know what that statement meant, and then he doubled down and said that he never said it.
My next question. Now, you've had some trouble with the truth. I've seen it myself during your appearances before Congress. And as we all saw clearly during your exchange last week with Congresswoman Sewell, can you admit today that you said every black kid can get reparented on a wellness farm? Can you admit that you said that?
Didn't get reparented on a wellness farm?
Well, let me read exactly what you said. You said every black kid is now just standard, put on Adderall, on SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You claimed, in fact, you went on to say, actually the whole transcript was even worse. You said that if you could, you would send, quote, every black kid, again, your words, not mine, to go live on farms and work. Is that your commitment?
I would have to hear that recording, because
I have the recording.
I have no memory of saying anything like that.
Yeah, well, I actually have the recording that I can give to you, but it is absolutely what you said. And if you want me to play it, I can play it.
But if you ask me what my opinion is, I do not believe that every black kid should be reparented on a wellness farm or whatever, and I have never believed that.
Well, you said it, sir. I have the video here. In fact,
I'm telling you, I don't believe it. That's not my vision for our country.
Well, I'm glad, because it was ignorant to say, it was dangerous, and it was irresponsible.
Well, if I said...
However, there's video of
Got
him.
you in 4K, bro.
There's video of him saying it. So that is a different type of lie. You know, most normal people, when you
Yeah.
lie, you get caught. You're like,
Like, all right.
yeah, you got me, right? But to double down on a lie and you are on camera saying it, but then saying, I don't even know what that means, and I absolutely did not say it. That is the environment that we're living in. So yeah, I mean, everything is going to be questioned because nothing seems to be truthful, especially things
Yeah.
from the administration. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's interesting to me, these air quote assassination attempts. We don't get a lot of information about, what happens afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah.
Really a lot, and I think that in itself kind of contributes to people saying,
For sure. For sure.
I don't know about this. What else I got? Obviously, ceasefire with Iran. That's not really a ceasefire. So, were you aware that we're still at war, B?
So they did try to keep it quiet. I
Says
can
the
tell.
war.
Yeah, no, I can tell by what the gas prices are doing that the war is not over. Yeah, so it's been quiet, the talk about the war. I thought about this earlier, how we haven't heard much talk about what day of war we're at. But yes, I did know we're still at war, and it needs to stop because 4.49 for a gallon of gas is rather ridiculous.
Right. Absolutely ridiculous. Although Trump said weeks ago that the war was over, however, the war is pretty much at, I would say, a stalemate at this point. The Strait of Hormuz is shut down, and everybody knows this, that 20% of the world's oil flows through it. But also, there are other products that flow through the Strait of Hormuz, like fertilizer. I think 15% of the world's fertilizer goes through that strait, and it's being blocked on both ends. One end by Iran and the other end by the United States. Now, what the United States wants to do is they want to, kind of like economically destroy Iran by cutting off their ability to really offload their oil exports. So, when you're pumping oil, you're pumping millions and millions of barrels a day,
Yeah.
and there's nowhere to store this oil. So, only thing that you could do is try to shut these oil rigs down, which is very, very difficult. Once you get them pumping and moving, to shut them down, it's very difficult. So United States is trying to put the squeeze on Iran to be able to accept whatever type of peace deal that the United States feels as though they need to have with Iran. What I think is interesting, and I think people don't really understand Iran's ability to let their people suffer. Is much more. They have much more tolerance than we would have here. Because those people are used to sanctions. They're used to blackouts. They're used to energy shortages. They're used to all of these things that their government, unfortunately, puts upon their people. We don't have that. So there's going to be a lot of pressure from the administration to get something done, because the summer's coming up, and the gas prices is, when you start talking about $5-6 a gallon, could be $10 a gallon. In California, and one study says it's impossible for it to get rolled back in enough time. Even if the war stopped today, it's going to take months for the market to resettle. But also, it's going to take months for the strait to open, because Iran is dropping naval mines in the strait. So everybody knows what a mine is. You put your foot on it, you blow up.
Yeah.
They just start putting them in the ocean, and studies say it would take something like 6 months to clear out all of these mines, because if a boat, washes over this mine, it's going to blow up. And who's going to have their boat out there? And only Iran knows where they place them at.
Right.
So it's just a whole lot that's going on. Another study said that within a year, each individual consumer will pay at least $5,000 more because of the price increase because of this war. So it's hitting us in the pocketbook. I drive a truck. It taking me over $100 just to fill up to be able to drive for a week and a half. It's crazy.
Reggie, that was great political perspective. Again, as you said at the beginning, if you don't have a perspective, you're not political. You can close this out and James bring us back.
All right, yeah, like B said, if you are not political, you are not perspective. I mean, you do not have perspective.
Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.